A couple of years ago, I found this playlist on SoundCloud called something like Songs for Lonely, Depressed People. Yeah. It was a mix of just various lo-fi songs for different genres, and I was surprised at how specific everything was. And just like basically every day, I went on SoundCloud and saw the exact same playlist, and I started thinking, why exactly are these lo-fi, hip-hop, anime depressed mixes, for lack of a better term, so popular? Why is this such a successful type of music? Well, every genre is either a result of music before it or a result of inspiration from something happening parallel to it. In this case, pop music, which for the past 30 years, or more noticeably the past 10, has been swaying towards variations of R&B and hip-hop and funk, stuff which has historically been pretty popular in the past 30 or 40 years. The various lo-fi genres are a result of both. It draws from the modern pop sound and then infuses it with old drum machines noticeable in stuff from the early 90s, for example. It's not like it just appeared out of nowhere and was an instant online sensation. Completely original. It's a result of an existing audience beginning to notice its existence. At least that's how it happened to me and basically everyone else. Similar to the whole ASMR songs playing in the bathroom thing, which seems to be a trend at the moment, adding the low fidelity characteristic to a song, or any piece of audio really, adds a quality which extends beyond music. For example, adding the crackling and popping of an old tape recording over the top of a simple drum machine and synth loop, which seems to be the majority of these songs, adds a certain physicality to the recording which you can't really get just with instruments. This is quite strange considering the majority of the people listening to this stuff are under 20 years old. Most weren't even born in the analog age, so there can't really be any nostalgic connection to a time they watch pass them by. And for those who were alive in the analog age, it's not a real replication. The excessive distortion and loss of particular frequency ranges would only ever happen if your cassettes were damaged or you played your records through broken speakers. You get the point. The same trend can be seen in stuff like synthwave. The exaggeration of particular memorable aspects of the music from a particular time period somehow resonates with an audience who weren't even alive at the time. But it's the idea of nostalgia and the loose connection to a particular emotion or mood and a time gone by, which is then further emphasized by the way this stuff is pushed on YouTube. For example, on their own, a lot of these songs could be regarded as subjective when it comes to their intended mood. This song playing right now sounds quite calming, but what is the emotion? Well, it's loose enough that if you slap an anime hand holding a cigarette as the thumbnail and call it "Why Did You Leave?", well, now it's become depressing music for, I don't know, who even watches. Anyway, but if you were to call it nostalgia and slap a still from some Miyazaki film as a thumbnail, you're unoriginal. But also, it's now an exaggeration of degraded music from a time period few people listening to it have actually lived through. But it gets across the emotion or the mood, these blending of different elements. A lot of these songs don't even have lyrics, so they truly are hard to label precisely. The biggest thing that come of this, at least in terms of growing the fan base of lo-fi music, was the ability to throw together an assortment of somewhat down-tempo, simple songs and give it a particular label which reflects an emotion or general vibe. For example, depressed music. And it's sort of special. In the past, doing this stuff just wasn't the same. Finding music to elevate your sorrow, or whatever the hell people do when listening to It's 4 a.m. and I Still Miss You, was a case of going through the artists you listen to and picking the songs you personally would associate with that emotion, and then make your own playlist. Or before tape and iPhones, you couldn't do any of that. Lo-fi is easy. It's so broad that your taste in lyrics or instrumentation doesn't matter. It carries an easy-to-manipulate emotion or feeling that can fit basically any mood, and anyone can listen to it.